Oi! Morning! Born ready, mate. Born ready. Sometimes you just need Ode to Joy down on a duck call. Sometimes it's when you're about 10 seconds early for your podcast. Welcome. Hello and welcome to the podcast. Hello to everyone watching live on the YouTube. Don't forget, it's not today. No, it's youtube.com/nottodaypod. I know where I am. I know what I am, and everything's fine. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Neil. Good morning, Rick, and others. Although Jane's already gone. She's got a meeting. Badly timed. Not thought through. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I thought what I'd do today was just to catch up. Just a little update on stuff I've done lately and stuff that's coming up. Because you've very kindly shown an interest in my notional career. So I thought I'd tell you about stuff. What I will do is put links to stuff on my website. There is a links page, and I will update that with all of the things that I'm about to tell you about. And then you can go. You don't have to worry about retaining any of this information. Also, some of it's quite hard to find. But anyway, I'm excited to tell you about some of the things that are sort of coming up in my imminent future, and some of them are already out. Yeah. This rather fabulous Status Quo parody. Was written by me, and it's got our own Pat on guitar. Yes, Pat Cecil, our Pat. It's really good. He's so good. That is being used right now on Rockanori, which is a new thing from John Holmes. It's going out on Absolute Radio. You can listen to it at 11 o'clock at night. I think they have 4 episodes, Monday to Thursday, and then on Friday there's an omnibus. But you can't be bothered to do that. I know you can't be bothered to do that, but that's okay, because they're doing a podcast of it. And the whole of the Status Quo one is already out. You can listen to it. It's a fun 15-minute listen. It's narrated by Sean Keaveney. And features me, Alistair Beckett-King. I can't remember the other name. Naomi MacDonald. Check it out. It's fun. It's very funny. It's brilliant. It's written by John Holmes and a guy called Gareth Kerridig, who you should probably follow as well, who, by the sounds of it, is a really, really talented musician as well. So you might as well give up on that front. But there's quite a few to come, including me. I've voiced a lot of it. I'm the voice of Francis Rossi in the Quo one. But then you can hear some very bad impressions. But my favourite by far is Pete Doherty. I cannot wait for you to hear that one. That will come out in the next few weeks. But you can go and subscribe to the podcast, and then it'll all just aggregate there, won't it? That'll be handy. Thanks again to Pat, though. It's so brilliant, that music. I absolutely love it. There's another thing that's out that you can listen to now, and that is the quite tricky to search for Podcaster podcast. Each week, Podcaster takes a podcaster and asks them random questions with a sort of voice of pod voice thing. It was really fun. I really enjoyed the record, and I think they wanted jokes, and I sort of took everything very seriously. But I mean, there's fun stuff. There's stuff about my karaoke specialty, things you can ferment, and what can't you? And also the most trouble I've ever been in. But I thought maybe I could play you a little clip. It's out, right? So here's a question. I've already forgotten what it was that I queued up, but it's here. Let's. In fact, I haven't queued it up because I'm an idiot. So let's just queue it up, and then you can listen to it. Here we go. Right about now.
Do you control your emotions, or do they control you?
I absolutely, completely control my emotions. And I kind of wish I didn't sometimes. I wish I was better at not doing that. But I default to stopping, internalizing, and then processing. So, if you're in the middle of some kind of heated emotional exchange of some kind, I will kind of stop. And then in my head, I'll kind of game what my next response would be, and then what all the possible consequences of that might then be. So I'm kind of doing a flow chart in my head of, if I say this, how will they react? Will it be this, this, or this? And how would I then manage that? And it sort of cascades in my head. I hate myself for that. I wish I could be more in the moment. And I never get angry. But I do. But it takes a lot. And I usually give people fair warning. I say, okay, look, I'm about to get really angry. So it's up to you. We can kind of go on, and there will be that consequence, or we can stop. And if people kind of go on, then I'm like, okay, well, I warned you, and now I'm going to unleash merry hell on you, and then I will lose it. Yeah, Podcaster. It's really good. I'll put the link on my website if you want to have a look at it, but you can find it. It's an Acast show. You can check that out. I've been doing lots of stuff with Laura Shaven, which has been a delight. Those of you who remember the talk radio show I did with her, it's been great. She's had me do some voices for a podcast she does called The Offcuts Drawer, where people come in with basically any old tat that never got commissioned, and then she painstakingly makes it. You got to admire that. And I've recorded another podcast, a kind of longer form thing, which I'm really excited about. But I don't think she's launched it yet, so I don't want to blow her, steal her thunder. I don't want to blow her. I don't want to steal her stack or blow her thunder. So follow her on Twitter if you do Twitter. That would be the best thing. She's at Laura Shav, SHAV, Laura Shav. But it's a really fun idea for a podcast. I had a lot of fun doing that. And there were jokes in that one. I did a voiceover for a Mousetrap advert, which has been out 50 times on TV. Huge media buy, that. Not retirement money, but my God, it's it helped last month. Back to zero now. And I did another podcast guesting on Alex Sivright's vehicle. That was the week. That was it? I quite like that his Twitter handle for the podcast is @thatwastheweek1. @thatwastheweek1. That was indeed the week one. No, it wasn't the week one. It wasn't. It was a lot of fun. It was an hour and 3/4 long record. I'm sort of I'm delighted. I can't wait to see how long the final podcast is. If it's like 20 minutes, I swear to God, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to tell you all the things he cut. I was a little mischievous. I was a little, But I mean, after an hour and 3/4, anyone's raving. We're not all Ken Dodd, are we? It was nap time. I attempted to do some sex therapy with his wife, among other things. So yeah, I honestly can't. I can't remember anything of anything. I recorded the Laura Shaven one like the day before yesterday, so I can vaguely remember that. I thought that was good. There were some fun ideas in that. It's a really nice idea for a podcast. I can't wait for her to launch it. So yeah, if you go to @thatwastheweek1, they'll tell you when that's out. It's not out yet. The premise of that podcast, if you haven't heard it, is literally, how was your week? All right. It then runs for about an hour. That's it. That's all I can think of. But I wanted to pick up on a couple of things from Monday. Malcolm talking about songs that were out of tune and pieces of music that were out of tune. I mean, most of my stuff's out of tune. But I was thinking, I listened to the other day and I was like, do you know what? This is really out of tune. But it did amazing business. Hey Ya by Outkast featuring Andre 3000, my favorite Hoover. Hey Ya. It's the more you listen to it, the more you realize how out of tune it is. It feels like it's almost even like a semitone out. It's really out of tune. When you listen back to it now, you're like, oh. and it sort of droops. It droops and droops. Does anyone else agree? Can you think of any other songs that are like palpably out of tune? Rick Bean on YouTube says the Offcut Straw is a great show. Oh, brilliant! I'm glad you've checked it out. Go and check. This is Laura Shaven's thing. Marvelous. Rick says, were you doing a voiceover for the game Mousetrap? I wish. No, it was the Agatha Christie play. You know, the one where the guy who did it was... Never mind. And Darren on YouTube says, I'm thinking of starting a podcast that recommends podcasts that recommend podcasts. You do that and I'll feature you on my new podcast. No. There will be some new podcast news as well. Anyway, that whole tuning thing. And Jacob Collier, who's just insanely gifted. He's not gifted. He's really talented and he's worked really hard. You can't just say, oh yeah, just fell in his lap. No. Apparently he did an arrangement of a carol. I think it was Silent Night or In the Bleak Midwinter or something. He got to the sort of the middle part and decided to brighten it by a quarter tone. You what? Unbelievable. Extraordinary young man. Extraordinary young man! Jacob Collier is indeed a genius, as Martin says on the YouTube. Have you tried watching on the YouTube? It's a lot of fun. Well, while he's doing things like that, I would recommend that you download Peggle Blast. That's my final thing for today. It's a really great game. I don't know if you ever played the original Peggle. It's fantastic. And discovering that Peggle 2 is now out on Xbox was amazing. But if you've got a phone or an iPad or whatever, why don't you check your app store for Peggle Blast? It's basically Peggle, but on the move. And it's got Ode to Joy in it and unicorns and rainbow sprinkles. And it's very happy and pretty. And you just watch the pretty balls falling down. And it's so much fun. So go and do that. Don't worry about doing all the hard music stuff and brightening things by a quarter. Just let that white slurry that used to be your brain trickle out of your ears and look at the pretty colours and the nice music. That's it from me for today. Thank you very much for being here. I will speak to you on Friday. I think Cousin Davey's going to be here. Pretty sure. Isn't he wonderful? Take care of yourselves. Yeah, any thoughts you've got on songs that are out of tune to you? It's not today at swanburst.com. We should collate them. Bye! Okay, bye! Bye!
This has been a Swanburst Media production.
That's better. Bye.